Hand pies are perfect for fall. These are filled with squash and apples and sausage and herbs and spices and have such great flavor. They're easy to make. It uses just my quick, simple pie dough. Perfect pastry, perfect filling, perfect for a cool fall day. Let's make them. Hand pies aren't something you're gonna make every day, so when you wanna make them special, but honestly, you're gonna see they're not that much work. We're gonna use the season's best components. So it's gonna be filled with squash, with apples, and we're gonna start with some delicious sausage. Now I'm using sausages in a casing. You could take the casing off, you could just get ground sausage. I kinda like leaving it like this. Honestly, it's also what I had. To me, when it comes to cooking, use what you have. I had it here in the link, or in the casing, so what I'm gonna do is actually just cut it up into smaller pieces and go with it. You know, I think we all too often get so stuck on something that seems like, oh, I don't have the right ingredient. Guess what? If you have some type of sausage, use it. Or other type of meat, or have no meat at all. These would be great no matter what. Now, what I am making sure to do is by kind of chopping everything up in bite-sized, small bite-sized pieces. Because since we are putting these into a hand pie, which means into, you know, a pastry dough, you don't want them to be too big because it won't go into it well then and it won't stay together well. So what I have here is a little bit of oil heating in a skillet, and I'm gonna put my sausage in. I just wanna brown it. I wanna make sure to get a little bit of crustiness on it and just cooked all the way through. So I'm taking off all the sausage pieces. I like them to get really crispy because I think it's in those crispy bits that you get tons of flavor and texture and all that goodness, and it smells amazing. So any type of sausage you're gonna love. You know, you can use a spicy one even if you want to. I'm gonna leave that residual oil. If it's over 2 tablespoons, you can remove some, but that residual oil, we're gonna cook the rest of the stuff and it's gonna have tons of flavor. So I'm gonna set that there. Now what I have here, I'm getting ready for the rest of the components that are going in. So you can see I have some butternut squash that I've just seeded. I've peeled it, and the reason I did peel this is because we're not roasting it in the oven like I do sometimes when I leave the peel on. Instead, I'm cutting it into small pieces again, because I want all of this to cook really evenly. I want this to all have kind of that same consistency. So I have onion, I have squash, and I have apple, which I don't know if you think that's a weird combination. I personally, it's one of my favorite combinations. I have a recipe on the website. You can always go look for it, but it's squash and apples with a pork tenderloin, one of my favorites. And I think we kind of forget that you can have things used in different applications, whether it's savory or sweet, and squash is one of those chameleons. It can be so many things, especially when we go the savory route. So I'm finally gonna chop up an apple, and that I am gonna leave the peel on. I like the color it adds, I like the texture it can add, and it's a very thin peel apple has, and so you don't have to really worry about any of those pieces not breaking down. So we're going into nice bite-sized pieces, just the same as everything else was. And what I really want to do is drive home the fact that hand pies aren't something you're probably going to make every day. And I get that. I won't expect you to. But when you do have them, all these flavors work together in such a unique way that it makes them really a special, kind of something special that you're really going to be excited about, especially when the season comes like this, when it's fall and you really want to use certain produce. So what I want to grab is my bench lifter, because I forgot to get it out. But this is how I get things over to my skillet a little bit easier. So in that residual oil and the residual heat, we're going to start adding all this goodness, which you can see is a lot. It's a lot of squash. It's a lot of all those vegetables, and I really want them to saute and cook through. So I'm going to all this skillet and let it cook. So you can see this is really now cooked down. It hasn't been that long. And you can always check to see if it's done by just eating a piece of the squash. It gets tender. And you can see everything just really gets beautiful. It picks up some of the bits of the sausage that were in there, which we want all those flavors to marry together. So I'm gonna put a little bit of frozen spinach. You could use, actually I think this is kale. You could use kale, spinach, chard, whatever you have. And I'm gonna put that right in there. And we're using frozen just because it's gonna work down into the consistency of these hand pies a lot better. It adds a little bit of green, it adds a little bit of nutrients, but honestly, I think it just adds to the appeal. It adds some beautiful color, which is really important. So now I wanna add some flavorings here and some seasoning. So salt, super important. We have salt in the sausage, but we need to salt to balance out the sweetness of the squash and the apples. So we have salt, and we have some black pepper, some fresh thyme leaves that I just took off their stems, and a little bit of dried garlic or garlic granulars. I like having the dried garlic in this case. I think it works well and makes sure its flavor is like evenly going throughout. So I'm just gonna stir this for about a minute to get all that activated, and we're just gonna thicken it slightly. So now you really want to make sure this whole mixture is going to be tightened up. And there's just a little bit of moisture in there, but we also want to have a slight sauce-like consistency. So we're gonna put a little bit of flour over it. And this is just how we do that trick in a lot of things when we're going to thicken them just slightly. And I want to cook that flour into it for a few seconds here. That actually makes sure the flour doesn't have a raw taste or a raw flavor. And it makes sure everything is coated in that flour, which is actually super important. So we're just stirring that to make sure, and you can see instantly, it kind of just soaks up anything that was in there. But now to give it more of that sauce-like consistency, I'm gonna take a little bit of chicken stock, and we're gonna do it small amounts, and we're just gonna stir that in, let it come to a simmer, and then it will thicken up more to like a nice sauce in it. I put just a little bit last amount, and what you can see I do is, if you come and look at it, you can see it's nice and tight, but it has a nice now consistency where it's almost holding together because of a little bit of that moisture. So you make almost like a thick gravy that goes around it, and that just really helps tighten everything up and hold it together. So turning it off, and now we just need to let it cool off completely because you can't put hot filling into a hand pie pastry dough. But remember our sausage, I'm gonna just go ahead and throw that back in here. That was already cooked. It had all the brown bits in it, has that wonderful crustiness on it. Look how, I really do think there's a beauty in this already when you look at it. So I'm gonna let this cool off. In a little bit here, we're gonna roll out our dough, cut out the ham pies, fill them. It smells good. It's gonna taste good. So while this is cooling, which you can see it's already getting quite cool, I have my pie crust. So I just made a double batch of my basic pie dough that I use for everything. And that to me works really well for hand pies. It has the flakiness you want. Now I made a double batch just because overall it's what we need, but I'm gonna do about half at a time just because that's easier to work with and keep the other half. But if you look at a pie dough, this is what you wanna see. See all those pieces of butter and those, that is a good pie dough, guys. That's what you want. You want those pieces of butter. You wanna keep it cold. I'm gonna wrap this one up so it doesn't dry out and then I'll put it back in the fridge. So when we're rolling it out, I just put flour down. You can, on my website, you can just search on my wiseguide.com, go there and there's a search function, put in pie dough. It's gonna come up and it's super easy. And I think the thing we have to remember with pie dough, it takes maybe a time or two if you've never made it, but guess what? We can all make pie dough. So for hand pies, the reason we use a pie dough is because you like the flakiness and you want that to kind of puff up in the oven, meaning not like a puff pastry, but instead those little pockets of butter in there, which as I'm rolling out, you see those pockets of butter, those are going to create little pockets of steam, and that's gonna create the flaky layers we want. That's why you want those pieces of butter. Personally, even though I think in my pie dough I talk about using a food processor, I like to do it by hand because by hand, you get even better flakiness. So I'm gonna roll this out, then we're gonna cut it, start filling, make ham pies. It's gonna be delicious. So I rolled this out and now I'm just cutting. I like to use a gauge, so it needs to be about a 5-inch round. So one of my cereal bowls is a 5-inch round. And so it's an easy way to kind of take a gauge. Usually a biscuit cutter, it only goes up to like maybe 4 inches. And so you can then just take your knife and take around that bowl to get your rounds. So it just depends what works best for you. You know, it doesn't have to be a bowl. It can be whatever would maybe be around that 5-inch mark. It just works really well to me. And usually we all have a bowl that would be roughly that size. Not gonna say we all do, but usually that I will push back together to get my right size to roll out for my final one here. But you can see now we have these perfect rounds, and now it's just about filling them. So we take some of our filling, and this is where you have to be careful. You have a tendency to want to overfill, just like we do tacos if we're gonna make them. But if you do that, they're really hard to get together. So you put some of your filling down, and then I just grated some Parmesan cheese. You want some Parmesan on top, and believe me, that's not really a question, you want it. And then I took an egg wash, and I'm gonna wash them later with eggs, but I took an egg, beat it up, and I have a little just brush here, and I'm gonna just on half of it, brush, and that's gonna be my glue. So now, when I take this half, and you can see here, I'm just going to squish a little bit, but then just bring it over and press down, that's my glue. So now it's all been glued shut, and you have a little bit of time to work with this dough. If it gets way too soft, just throw it back in the fridge or freezer for a bit. I'm gonna take a fork here, and just squish it down. Now, if your fork is sticking to it because it's getting soft, dip your fork in the flour. Just take your little prongs, tines, dip them in flour, and that will help it not stick. And then as I get them full and done, I'll just put them onto a parchment lined baking sheet, and we'll finish them all up when they're done. I have one tray already done. I'm just finishing up with this last one. You can see how pretty, it's just fun to do. So now I have that same wash I was using to glue them, and I'm just lightly brushing it over the top. This is gonna give them a little bit of a nice color. It's also gonna give something the Parmesan to stick to. I don't know if I mentioned, but we're gonna maybe lightly have some snowfall on these. That is Parmesan. Just because I think it browns nicely. I like that, a little bit of a crust, and it just adds more flavor at the top. I do though first cut a little vent hole. Just take a knife and just cut a little vent. So what this does is, since we completely enclosed it, there's gonna be steam possibly trapped inside, and that would come out one way or the other. So if we didn't cut a vent hole, it could possibly rip open somewhere where you don't want it to. So this allows the steam to escape, controlled where we want it. So then I'm just gonna take my rasp grater here and just gonna nicely put some Parmesan over each one. Like, this is just, you know, living life needs to be to the fullest sometimes. And this is one of those instances where putting some Parmesan on top, it's worth it. You're worth it. So now we're gonna pop these in a hot oven. That's the ideal here. So when you get one pan done, don't feel bad sticking them in the freezer or the fridge for a while, just to make sure they stay chilled while you do the other one. Because then when you put them in a hot oven, that's what you want. That's gonna give you the most steam. I just took them all out. You can see how beautiful they get. The important thing is here, I think we often don't bake our pie crust enough. So you want them to get the nice browning on them. You want them to be brown on the bottom too, but can we talk about the layers that are created? That's just a good pie crust. And if you need to look at one, go to my website, check my pie crust recipe. That's the important part, is those flaky layers. So now you just serve them up. Think of these with like a soup in the fall or whatever. They can be a side dish, they can go with a salad. Anything you want. Now, if you come in here, I'm gonna break it apart so you can, oh, look at the flakies that are happening. Oh, look at that. That to me is where it's at. And guys, it smells so good. It really does. What I love here is you see how well baked it is, but then look, the filling we completely cooked before it went in. So you didn't have to worry about it being fully cooked because it already was, and that's kind of the nice part. But now you get just like a simple amount of that pastry around, a little bit of Parmesan. That's good. How could it not be? What I love is, it's not just a dry filling. That flour with the stock mixture that we did created a little bit of cohesion around it. It's not gluey, but holds together almost like just a slight gravy kind of would. So it gives it more of a substance. And then you get all the flavors. So you get a little bit of that thyme, that garlic we put in. It's well seasoned. The squash has sweetness. The sausage has so much flavor. It's a great, delicious treat. I am thinking this on a cold day in the fall to come in, have this with some soup or something. I'm a soup person, so it's gonna be soup. And you're gonna enjoy it. I think you're gonna love this. So what do I hope you do with this video? I hope you're inspired enough to share this around so others can see that, guess what? If this guy, who is not a trained chef, I'm not a trained chef, I didn't go to school for this, but loves to cook at home, you can do it too. We can all cook at home, enjoy good things, make good things, and make them look good too. That's the important part. And check my website, wiseguy.com, for this recipe, all my other recipes. They're all on there. They have videos to go with them to show you the steps. Until next time, make something delicious, share it around, bring people together. That's the point of food.